Hi there, this is Libby Hickson, and I'm sharing a video for HeroArts. Today I'm showing you how to make a paper mosaic using HeroArts layering paper, some Mod Podge for your adhesive, and dies and stamps. So to begin my mosaic, I am going to take the stamp I'm using today, which is the HeroArts Classic Heart, just a very simple heart outline. For the mosaics, I find it to be good to use just a very simple stamp. You don't want too much detail because it will just get lost in the mosaic and it won't really look much like a mosaic if it has too much going on that's not part of the mosaic design. So I'm just going to use this simple classic heart and I'm going to put it on my paper in the corner and just trace around the stamp so I have an idea of how big of an area I need mosaicked for my project. And I'm using Mod Podge today. I love Mod Podge. I think it's so much fun. And I'm using the gloss because I like how it looks on the paper when you're all done. It makes it look like it's actual tile a little bit, you know, because it has the shine to it. So I put a little area of it down on my craft sheet, and I'm just going to do one little line at a time because it dries fairly quick. And what I did was I cut up some strips of Pool and Tide layering paper from HeroArts, and then just cut them into little squares and rectangles. They are white on the back, that's why you see a lot of white in this pile, but I'm just going to use the blue sides, which are Pool and Tide, and I'm just going to randomly put them down here. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I'm just going to lay them in a row, and I have them mixed together so that I get a little bit of both colors and not just, you know, I don't want to think about which color I'm grabbing. I'm just going to set them down. And just do them in a row like you're mosaicing, you know, stone for your garden or a tabletop or anything, but we're doing it with paper, which is totally fun. And after I get a line down, I'm going to put a little bit more Mod Podge over the top of it to keep it in place and seal it. And then I'm just going to go ahead and do the rest of this, and I'm going to speed it up for the video, and I'll meet you back when I'm done. Okay, so that's it. Now you have to let it dry. It takes 15 to 20 minutes for Mod Podge to dry. But you can see it doesn't have to be perfect. These are not nice straight rows because often a homemade mosaic isn't perfectly straight rows. That's what makes it fun and wonderful and unique. And this could be, I'm going to cut out a shape like I mentioned, but it could also be a great background. You could do a whole card front or project with it, or you could do you know, think of it with like a pool scene, a summer scene, aquarium, fish with these blues. I think that would be really awesome. But there's all kinds of things you can do with this mosaic. It's such a fun technique. I just love it. All right, so I'm going to let this dry, and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so been waiting for my Mod Podge to dry, and it is now ready to be stamped on. And I'm going to use my classic heart, and I'm using some archival ink. The reason I'm choosing archival is because this surface is glossy from the Mod Podge, and you want something that will actually dry on it. Some inks will just sit there forever and smear and never dry. So I'm going to use archival ink, and I have this blue color, aquamarine, that matches my Pool and Tide tiles for the most part. So when you come down, because it is glossy and everything, you want to be really careful. You just want to come straight down, even pressure, and not smear it, which, you know, sometimes is easier said than done. So here we go. Okay, so there is my heart. I'm going to let this dry again just for a second so that it doesn't smear. It will dry and not smear, but, you know, it takes a minute for that to happen. And then I'm going to trim it, and we'll have our heart that we can use in our project. So I let this dry for a bit, and now I'm going to go ahead and trim it with my scissors. I didn't let it dry that long. It just took a couple minutes. And I'm just going to cut it out, and I'll speed that up as well. And there is my finished tiled heart that I can use on my card. There's one thing I wanted to tell you. The frame cuts set does go with this stamp. It's called Heart Frame, and it's actually a little bit larger than the actual stamp. So it would leave a little tile beyond the edge. That's why I cut it rather than using the die. I didn't want my tile to go out beyond the edge where I stamped. But that's another way you could do it. And you could even skip the stamping altogether and just use the die, which would be another great look. I wanted to have the edge on mine, but if you didn't and just wanted the outline, that'd be great. And actually, I had some leftover pieces on the edges of this that I had tiled. So I took this little heart from the die set, and I made a couple of little tiny tiled hearts that I can use on some other project. So how fun is that? I'm just thinking of all the different frame cut dies that I could use and make them tiled, and it would be so fun. All these mosaics all over my projects. And here's my finished card. I used my mosaic heart and added some twine and buttons and pearls and a message and different embellishments. I hope you like this technique today, and I hope you'll give it a try. Thanks.